Every night, at exactly 3:17 a.m., my alarm goes off. The problem is, I don't have an alarm set. And lately, I've become afraid of what I'll see when I look out the window after it rings. Welcome to the Static Vault. My name is Ethan. I'm a freelance graphic designer, and until 3 weeks ago, my life was completely normal. Then one night, I woke up to a loud, distorted alarm tone blasting from my phone. It was exactly 3:17 a.m. Half asleep, I silenced it and checked my alarms. Nothing was scheduled. I searched every setting, every app, every notification. There was no explanation. I assumed it was a glitch and went back to sleep. The next night, it happened again. Same time, same sound. This time, as I reached for my phone, I noticed something outside my bedroom window. Across the street was a street lamp I passed every day, but there were two of them. I stared for several seconds, trying to remember if there had always been two. By morning, there was only one. I blamed exhaustion. But the following night, after the alarm rang, the large oak tree beside the lamp had vanished. Not fallen, not cut down, it was simply gone, as if it had never existed. The next morning, it was back. After a week, I started keeping notes. Every night at 3:17 a.m., something outside changed. A mailbox disappeared, a parked car became a different model, a building gained an extra floor. The changes were always subtle, but they were real. Then they stopped being subtle. One night, I woke up to the alarm and looked outside to find a bus stop across the street. I'd lived in that apartment for almost 4 years. There had never been a bus stop there. The next morning, it was still there. Not only that, but people were using it. When I asked a coworker about it, she looked confused and said the bus stop had been there for as long as she could remember. Another night, a convenience store on the corner had a completely different name. The sign was different. The logo was different. Even the colors were different. I dug through old photos on my phone, looking for proof that I wasn't imagining things. I found a picture from 6 months earlier. The store matched my memory perfectly. The next morning, the photo had changed. The store and the picture now matched the new version. That was the moment I stopped thinking of it as a glitch. Something was rewriting reality. I became obsessed. Every night before bed, I photographed everything visible from my window. Buildings, trees, cars, street signs. Then I compared the pictures after the alarm rang. At first, the differences were obvious. Then they became impossible. In one photo, an apartment building across the street had 6 windows on its top floor. After the alarm, there were 7. When I checked the original photo, it now showed 7 windows too. The evidence was changing with the world. The only proof I had left was my memory, and even that was starting to fail me. One morning I stood at the window staring at the oak tree and couldn't remember whether it had actually disappeared or not. I had pages of notes describing it, yet the memory felt distant, like I was reading about something that had happened to someone else. Then I noticed something even worse. Every time the alarm rang, I remembered a little less about the world before it, and a little more about the world after it. Like my mind was slowly adapting to whichever version came next. I asked my neighbors if they'd noticed anything strange. They hadn't. One of them laughed when I mentioned the apartment building. He insisted it had always been 6 stories tall. Another neighbor swore the convenience store had never changed its name. Their certainty scared me more than the changes themselves. Eventually, I decided to stay awake and watch. At 3:16 a.m., everything outside looked normal. Then the alarm sounded. For a fraction of a second, the entire world beyond my window flickered. Not blinked, flickered, like a corrupted video frame struggling to load. The street, the buildings, the sky itself seemed to distort. When the flicker ended, someone was standing beneath the street lamp. A person. They weren't moving, they weren't looking around, they were staring directly at my apartment. I called the police. By the time they arrived, the street was empty. They searched the area and found nothing. The officer suggested I get some sleep. The next night, the figure returned. This time it was closer. The night after that, closer still. Every time the alarm rang, the figure appeared a little nearer to my window. I started measuring the distance using landmarks outside. The results made no sense. The figure wasn't walking toward me. The world around it seemed to be shrinking. I stopped sleeping. I covered the window with blankets. I smashed my phone and bought a new one. It didn't matter. The alarm still sounded every night at exactly 3:17 a.m. Then, 3 nights ago, the figure moved. For the first time, it lifted its head and smiled. I wish it hadn't. The smile wasn't threatening. It wasn't malicious. It was familiar, like seeing an old photograph of yourself and recognizing something you had forgotten. That smile haunted me for days. Last night, everything changed. The alarm rang. I looked outside. The street lamp was gone. The road was gone. The buildings were gone. There was only darkness stretching endlessly in every direction. No city, no sky, no stars, just an empty black void. And standing at the edge of it was me. Same face, same clothes, same tired eyes. The version of me outside stared through the glass and slowly raised a hand. Then it pointed behind me. I spun around instantly. There was nobody there. The room was empty. When I looked back at the window, the figure was gone. This morning, I checked the date on my phone. It said June 3rd. Every calendar in my apartment says June 4th. I checked the internet. Half the websites showed one date, half showed the other. I don't know which one is wrong, or which version of the world I'm in anymore. What scares me isn't the possibility that the world outside keeps changing. What scares me is the possibility that it doesn't. Maybe the street never changed. Maybe the buildings never changed. Maybe the bus stop was always there. Maybe every version of reality has been perfectly normal. And every night at 3:17 a.m., I'm the thing being replaced. It's 3:12 a.m. right now. The alarm will ring in 5 minutes. I've decided not to look out the window this time, but there's one problem. A few seconds ago, I heard something tap against the glass, and my apartment is on the 9th floor. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to the Static Vault for more mysteries hidden within the static.